You need someone to talk to today, please contact Crisis Services Canada by either calling them at 1-833-456-4566 all hours of the day, or you can text them at 45645 at 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Time. Remember, you're not alone, and Crisis Services Canada is here to help. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Coffee with Graeme on ASTV Productions. I'm your host, Graeme Forsyth. This edition of the show is brought to you by Evolve Green, AETi, TOVI Hockey, and the Pilot-Mound Hockey-Academy. We got a great show in store for you guys this Tuesday morning. We're going to have 3 guests joining us. First up to join me is going to be Cody Wall, color commentator here on ASTV Productions, on a new segment called Off the Wall with Cody, where we break down the past weekend of games that we saw here on ASTV Productions. He'll be joining the show after the intro to talk about the past games for Pilot-Mound Hockey-Academy with the U17 male prep Buffaloes, as well as the U15 male prep Buffaloes, as both of those teams went up against the Edge school teams. The U17s, of course, going up against the U17 team, and the U15s going up against the U15 Edge team this weekend. Also, we're going to be talking some female hockey today. Going to be having Derek Tibbatts, head coach of the Yellowhead Chiefs, join the show to talk about his team's season so far. And then we'll end off the show with having Chris Kirwan, assistant coach of the Swift Current Wildcats of the Saskatchewan Female U18 AAA Hockey League, join the show to talk about how the team's season has gone so far throughout 2 games, as well as talking about the home opener for the team tomorrow night against the Regina Rebels, and you can also catch that game on ASTV Productions tomorrow night as well. So without further ado, let's run the intro and bring on the first guest in today's episode, Cody Wall, on Off the Wall with Cody here on Coffee with Graeme on ASTV Productions. Now on Coffee with Graeme, on a new segment that we're doing called Off the Wall. Cody is my colorman. I do play-by-play commentating. He does the color here on ASTV Productions. It's Cody Wall. Cody joining me hours before this episode going live. It's early here in the morning. How you doing on this early morning, man?
I am doing good, Graeme. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to get on and talk about these past weekend's games that we had called together.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a lot of fun. Getting to do this on a weekly basis, kind of just getting to sit back and break down some of these games. We'll hear from your perspective, of course. This segment's all about that, just breaking down the past weekend and how it went. So we were in Pilot-Mound, Manitoba this weekend. The U17 male prep team for the Buffaloes got beat by the Edge U17s 4 games in a row, 9-0, 9-1, 11-3, and 7-3. But we talked about it on the broadcast, Cody. We saw a lot of improvements from Pilot-Mound game in and game out, even though the score isn't what they wanted. Take us through what you saw from Pilot-Mound this weekend out there on the ice from the U17s.
Yeah, the U17s definitely looked like they were consistently building off their prior performances. They looked like they were forming a bit more. They were meshing better as a team as the weekend went on. As you can see, they were able to put out a better effort as the weekend did go on, with registering 3 goals on Sunday's affair, and managing to keep a lot more goals out in that final affair as well.
And one thing that was busy for Pilot-Mound were their goaltenders, of course. All three goaltenders for that U17 team had a chance to play. Kean Hodgins and Miles Gordon both getting the start in some games. Cameron Perrier coming in relief in one of those games as well and making some nice saves. But talk about the goaltending, just the shots that these goals were facing and how they were looking against these edge shooters this weekend.
Yeah, they definitely were seeing a lot of shots. Yeah, like you mentioned, all three goalies were able to see some time. One save that kind of stood out was by Miles Gordon in game number 2, first one of Saturday. He had made an amazing save, and you could see the acrobatics there, and yeah, you could see that they were constantly trying to doing everything they could to keep all those plenty of shots out of the net, and they were working hard out there on this last weekend.
We talked about the D zone quite a bit for Pilot-Mound, how at times they were getting breaking down defensively. I pointed out a lot of times that they were having some trouble covering that open man, that guy in the slot, having some time and space to receive a pass and get a shot on net a bunch of times. But, we talked about it in that last game. There were some improvements from Pilot-Mound on the D zone side of things. Just talk about how you saw that area improve a bit for Pilot-Mound as the weekend went on in the D zone.
Yeah, in the D zone, it looked like as the weekend went on, they got a little bit hungrier for the puck early on. You watch Pilot-Mound; they were always the second man to the puck. Never were winning any of those important puck battles, which kind of ended up in the edge being able to cycle it around and find holes in Pilot-Mound's defense with them kind of being second on the puck all the time.
Yeah, for sure. And it was something we were talking a lot about. Was it just seemed like the edge wanted the puck all the time, and they were buzzing in all ends of the ice for the majority of the weekend, just creating turnovers, creating pressure on Pilot-Mound, and it really resulted in good things for the edge. But there was some offensive numbers put up for Pilot-Mound, even though the most goals they scored in the game was 3. They did that twice this weekend. But just speak about the offensive side of things from Pilot-Mound's game this
Yeah,
weekend.
yeah. As the weekend, sorry, kind of got along. As we were saying, it looked like the team started meshing a bit better together. We had that line of Zane Price, Zach Smith, and Sam Takahashi. Sorry, they were buzzing out there as the weekend got on, and you can see they were forming some chemistry among them, and they managed to put up a couple of points themselves with Price getting a goal as well as Smith getting a goal and an assist this last weekend.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the viewers at home missed that beautiful goal scored by Zane Price in that third game of the weekend out of those 4 games in the CSSHL game of the month. But yeah, that line building a lot of good chemistry here early on for sure. Talking about the transition game, because that's something that Pilot-Mound was having trouble with, transition out of the zone. Of course, again, I feel like from my perspective, it was because of that pressure, that forecheck that the edge was putting on, the good support there near the blue lines to really pressure Pilot-Mound there and keep them in the zone, not making it easy for them to make passes, getting out of the zone. Of course, the neutral zone play as well was very strong from the edge from what I saw. But talk about Pilot-Mound's transition game, how it looked out there against that Pilot-Mound attack, against that edge pressure, that edge attack.
Yeah, as the weekend progressed, it looked like they were kind of learning what the edge was doing right to kind of shut them down in the neutral zone and breaking out of there. And a lot of the time, they were looking going across the ice for a nice long pass, which if you can make those big plays where you can open up a game, those are great. But as we saw. Looked like a lot of the time those cross ice or those long passes where there's a lot of traffic in the middle, didn't end up going well for Pilot-Mound, and they ended up going the other way a couple times on some big turnovers, which led to some goals.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. Pilot-Mound trying a lot of stretch passes, a lot of longer passes, trying to go for the jugular a lot of times. And like we said, didn't work out for them a lot of the time out there. But, talking about their special teams, more specifically their power play, that was something we said was kind of a bright spot from Pilot-Mound just because of how they were able to work the puck around at times on that man advantage and get their opportunities to
Yeah,
get
for
shots
sure.
on net.
Yeah, for sure. When they were on the power play, they did have the one shorthanded goal scored against them. But once they had a bit of time and space to set up and get that cycle going in the offensive zone, that was definitely one of their bright spots. Especially when Laws Constant was on the power play, his possession with the puck was just so good. He was able to, pick it up along the boards and kind of maneuver his way around. The less when Edge was on the penalty kill, they seemed to be obviously a little less aggressive because they were down the one man. So it kind of led for Laws to get some time and space with the puck. And when he did, he was able to generate some offense on that power play.
Going over to the U15s now. They also played in a game. They played Saturday afternoon. That game went at 1 o'clock. Played the Edge's U15 team, and it was kind of deja vu. We said that a lot during the broadcast is deja vu because the Edge came out and dominated 11-1 in that game. Of course, the U15s for Pilot-Mound missing Bo Murray, the team's leading point getter. But, that aside, overall, just talk about what we saw from this U15 team this weekend.
Yeah, and I don't want to discredit the missing Bo Murray, a big body, fast skating forward like him who was able to put so many points up. He definitely was a big hole in the lineup. But, the U15 team, pushed. They had lots of strides as well this last weekend with some of their young talent making plays and taking strides in that one game between the Edge U15.
Talking about an injury report now, there were some injuries we saw this weekend, and some players, being scratched. I'm pretty sure these players all were dealing with something, but talk about the injuries for the program out there, both the U17 and the U15 team.
So, yeah, I didn't quite see what happened to Braden Bear there for the U17. I thought he had finished up that fourth game, and then it looked like he was scratched for that fifth and final game. Keegan Leach, if you remember, he had gone down early in that fourth game. I think it was 45 seconds in. He had been hit into the boards and went down hard. I can't remember. There was, I believe there was another couple injuries that I don't have marked down here, but I think those were the two more prominent injuries, along with Bo Murray for the U15 team.
Yeah, for sure. Pilot-Mound got a bit banged up this weekend, but hopefully those players that did miss games this weekend, get back to 100% and being able to get back out there once again and play some good old hockey. One more thing before we go. Player that really stood out to you in the 4 games from this U17 team, and if you even want to pick one from the U15 team from their game, if you feel it's necessary, feel free to pick maybe a player you notice out there as well for the U15s.
So for the U17s, for kind of the whole weekend, I liked Jack Smith. He was given a good constant effort throughout the whole weekend for the U17s. He managed to get himself 2 points on the weekend. So when his team was struggling, he was able to put up some offense. For the U15s, Gage Sutherland, he was looking good out there in that U15 game. And I would say he was moving the puck quite well. He was moving his feet, and he was trying to throw the body as best he could for, kind of being a bit of an undersized team compared to the Edge team. He was definitely somebody who was going out there trying to be aggressive.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Cody Wall joined me on the newest segment here on Coffee with Graeme, Off the Wall with Cody, to talk about this past weekend of games from the Pilot-Mound Hockey-Academy, their U17s and their U15 team coming on here to break down some of the things that he saw. Cody, we'll do this again next week, man. You have a wonderful day at work, and until then, we'll see you then, man. Take care.
Yeah, thanks for having me on today, Graeme, and we'll talk to you later.
And Cody Wall, color commentator here for ASTV Productions on the newest segment here on Coffee with Graeme, Off the Wall with Cody, breaking down the past weekend of games we saw from the Pilot-Mound Hockey-Academy. Of course, me and Cody will be doing this on a weekly basis, so if you guys enjoy that segment, be sure to tune in every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. to check out what Cody has to say, giving his take on what happened on the weekend. As you guys saw, with those words, rolling below the screen just a moment ago, Derek Tibbatts, head coach of the Yellowhead Chiefs U18 female team in the MFHL, will be joining me next up here on Coffee with Graeme to talk about how his team's season has gone so far. You're watching Coffee with Graeme on ASTV Productions. We'll be back in just a moment.
Why go solar? Solar is better than ever. Our revolutionary design and inverter equipment with the latest in solar panel technology for the ultimate in-home and business security. That's right, I said security. Grid security and security of your home are linked. Fortify your future today with a battery backup system. No maintenance, quiet running. Did you know in Manitoba, grid-connected, off-grid, and battery backup systems are 100% right off in the year you purchase for any company or farm? Do you want to back up your internet, keep your tills running, and the lights on? We can install a system that is right for you with battery backup fully capable of taking on all those essential loads and keeping you running. When you call our experts at Evolve Green, ask about getting your free energy audit today. Call or email today to find out what system works best for you. 1-866-5EVOLVE or support@evolvegreen.ca. Also, be sure to check out our website at www.evolvegreen.ca.
Welcome back to Coffee with Graeme on ASTV Productions. We've had some viewers, quite a few viewers watching today's episode so far on this Tuesday morning. For everyone that's taken the time out of their Tuesday morning so far to watch Coffee with Graeme here on ASTV Productions, I want to thank you, along with everyone here from ASTV, for giving us the support. We'll be moving into female hockey now. Like I said before the break, Derek Tibbatts, head coach of the Yellowhead Chiefs in the MFHL, joining the show now. I was joined by Derek last season once here on the show. He joins me again for the first time in this 2021-2022 season. Derek, how are things going with you this morning? Nice to have you on the show.
Yeah, thanks, Graeme. Things are going good. And just wanted a side note for you. Just thanks for all the support you're doing and covering our league. So that's awesome.
Oh, no worries. Like I say every time, any way we can help out this league grow, I think it benefits everyone involved, right? Let's dive into the season your team has been having so far. Off to a 6-0 start. One of two undefeated teams remaining in the league at this point, coming off of 3 straight wins over the weekend, a 4-2 win over the Winnipeg Ice on Friday, 5-3 win over the Pembina Valley Hawks on Saturday, and a 7-0 win over the Lightning on Sunday. So let's talk about this most recent weekend, what you like from your team, how the games went.
They just handled the 3-day weekend very, very good. They were prepared. They ate right, slept good. So with all those combination of things, they're all ready for the 3 games, because it's a don't get me wrong, it's hard to play 3 games at this level. So and they succeeded. They got rewarded with 3 wins. So I was very proud of them.
Yeah, and you guys have been having success all season long so far. Of course, like I mentioned, one of 2 undefeated teams remaining, but a lot of defensive dominance so far this season in games. 3 shutout wins so far, a 2-0 win over the Avers earlier this season, 5-0 win over the Capitals, and of course a 7-0 win over the Interlake Lightning this past Sunday. Just speak about what you've liked from your team so far defensively for you guys to be able to get these results out there, like the shutouts you've had so far.
Yeah, it starts right from the goalies. They're playing well. 1-2 punch goalies there. We've got great goalies. And yeah, defensive players. They're amazing too, and it's all a team effort, right? We've got forwards coming back into the D zone as hard as they can, helping out the defense, helping out the goalies. So it's everybody's trusting each other, and it's just good to see, and it's really good to watch.
Let's talk about this roster now. You guys got some returning players to this year's team, a nice returning group, some rookies as well, of course. Like you said, a good 1-2 punch and goaltending. Just speak about the team this year, the returning players, the rookies, and just the team in general, how they've meshed so far out there on the ice.
Yeah, you pretty much said it there, Graeme. We just got lots of leadership here now, with lots of veterans that played in the league for 2 years, minus the COVID year. But and then we've got 5-6 rookies come up, and they've handled the games very, very well. The practices, they're getting more familiar with how quicker the pace is, and just how tougher the games get going here. So yeah, I like the team. We have great coaching staff, and it's going to be a great year.
Who's been leading the way so far for you guys in terms of those returning players on the stat sheet, on the score sheet?
Yeah, Graeme, I don't really look at stat sheets. As for returning players, they all chip in. I'm not going to give you a 1-2 veterans, but they're all chipping in. They're doing good. They're having a great start, all of them, and it'll just keep on getting better and better if they keep on working hard.
Let's dive into the rookies more now. What's impressed you the most so far about their contributions out there on the ice?
Just handling like I said, just handling the type of play, the fast, quick play that they weren't used to last year or 2 years ago, and just gelling with all the veterans and just working hard. They're working as hard as they can to get more ice time, and getting their confidence up, and believing in themselves, and yeah, just fitting in.
Talk about now how this team has been able to go out there so far and execute the systems that this team has in place, mostly in the defensive zone, but also like the forecheck and the neutral zone play as well.
Yeah, it's been really good. Like I said before, they're trusting each other. They're the one thing when they beat their first win, they just started believing in each other, and they know that they could win now. So that's a big start, and hard work. They're working every day, getting better. Practice, their hard work, and every shift they're winning their battles.
Special teams, obviously, a huge part of any team's success out there, whether it be on the power play or penalty kill. Talk about what the special teams has been like so far for this year's Yellowhead Chiefs team.
When you have a lot of veterans at your special teams that know the systems already in your first year, it just carries over. So you don't have to teach very much in the special teams, so they already know that. But it's just a matter of repeat and more repeat and patterns and all that kind of stuff. So they just know everything already, and it's just a matter of executing it better.
Joey Simon, of course, was the captain of last year's Chiefs team. This year, Louise Ferguson is the team's captain. Speak about that leadership group, headlined by her as the captain.
You know what? Great leaders. She's she's doing really, really good this year. Works hard on and off the ice. Everybody respects her, and she's very, very vocal. So yeah, she's having a great start, and all the leaders, they all chip in where their strengths are, and it's just a great leadership group so far.
Yeah, and Louis Ferguson, of course, committing last year, a year early, to play for the University of Manitoba Bisons after this season, 2022-2023. So definitely going to be great to see her continue to grow her game this season, continue to grow that confidence, right? Talking about this season, just the results in the past years, you guys have been so close to, making it to that championship series. With the team this season, with the returning players coming back, the rookies that you've added, the 1-2 punch and goal. What's the expectation like this year for you guys as an organization, as a team?
Well, I guess as coaches, you always want to get to that highest level and win in the whole league. As a group, we haven't talked about our long-term goals, but coming this week, we will be talking about them. But as a group, I'm sure it will be mentioning winning the league, but it's a long ways to go, Graeme. It's only 6 games in deep, and we've got a lot of work to do here yet. And yeah, we'll just see how it unfolds here.
Well, 2 upcoming games this weekend, one on Saturday against Eastman and Niverville, and 1 game against the Central Plains Capitals on Sunday in their home rink in Portage. 2 practices and 2 dryland sessions this week still to come for you guys to get ready for this upcoming weekend. What's going to be the mindset in terms of what you guys are going to be working on in practice and the other stuff this weekend? I mean, this week at practices.
Yeah, we got a few things to touch up in the power play, and just little things here and there. But just hard work is going to be the main theme this week. We're going to have a little light practice here on Tuesday, just because they had 3-game weekend. But yeah, Eastman going to be tough playing in Niverville. They're always a tough team to play against. And then you go to BDO in Central Plains. It's going to be tough to play there too. So it's going to be a hard weekend. So we have to get prepared here this week.
Yeah, for sure. Yellowhead, of course, looking to extend that record to, as many wins as they can get this weekend. One more question before I let you go here, Coach. We've talked about the team already, the vets, the rookies, of course, the goaltending. But how would you describe what this Yellowhead Chiefs team is going to bring to the table this year in the league in terms of what the strengths are on the roster?
I'm just going to say hard work again, Graeme. We're nitty gritty. We not one line takes the show. Every line is effective. So yeah, all the D-men are effective. So it's just a hardworking Chief team that everybody deserves the credit. So.
Hard-working team with a lot of depth, a lot of returning talent, some good rookies, and some really good goaltending as well. Everything you would want in a team as a coach, for sure. Best of luck, Coach, this upcoming weekend. Let's see if that hard work continues to pay off for you guys against Eastman and Central Plains. Until next time, you take care there, Coach. Have a good one.
Thanks, Graeme.
And Derek Tibbatts, head coach of the Yellowhead Chiefs, joining this edition of Coffee with Graeme. And right now, looking at the screen here, you can see it down below right there. Chris Kirwan, assistant coach of the Swift Current Wildcats, will be joining the show coming up here after the break to talk about how the team's season has gone so far this year. There haven't been many games played for them in the regular season so far. In this young season, they've only played 2 games, but they'll be pretty busy this weekend coming up. 2 games coming up this weekend for them, and they'll be at home for all 3 of their games coming up this week. They also have one coming up on Wednesday, which is tomorrow, and that is going to be their home opener. So tomorrow, the start of a 3-game homestand for the Swift Current team. Chris has just joined me here in the broadcast studio. I'm going to get him on after the break to talk about how the season has gone for the team so far. And we'll also preview that home opener that they have tomorrow against the Regina Rebels. You're watching Coffee with Graeme on ASTV Productions. We'll be back after this commercial break. Stick with us. Welcome back to Coffee with Graeme on ASTV Productions. I was just joined by Derek Tibbatts, head coach of the Yellowhead Chiefs in the MFHL. Of course, his team's 6-0, one of the only two remaining undefeated teams in the league so far in the season. It is early, but definitely a nice start for that team. Of course, they got 2 games coming up this weekend, both on the road. First one on Saturday against Eastman and Niverville, and the second game of their weekend on Sunday in Portage against Central Plains. But we're going to continue talking about female hockey here on the network, but we're going to be moving over from Manitoba to Saskatchewan, and joining me from the Saskatchewan Female Hockey League, now their U18 AAA League, is Swift Current Wildcats assistant coach Chris Kirwan. Chris, join me outside right now. Looking pretty nice out there, Chris. How's the weather where you're at?
Well, it's a little chilly this morning, but can't complain too much for this time of year. So
yeah, no doubt. Of course, probably is chilly. You are wearing a jacket, and you know the sky's looking nice, so that's definitely a nice sign to see here in October, no doubt about it. But Coach, your team so far off to a 2-0 start. Only played 2 games. Home opener coming up tomorrow. You guys can catch that one on ASTV Productions if you want to tune in to watch that. You guys going up against the Regina Rebels tomorrow. A good early season test. But let's talk about those 2 games so far. What the team has looked like throughout those 2 wins to start off the year.
Yeah, I think for the first 2 games of the year, we were pretty happy. Our effort level has been unreal, basically from start to finish. Practice-wise, the thing that I think we're struggling most with is just kids not losing basically, almost 2 years kind of thing, and not being able to play games. So just learning D-zone and, a little bit of competition and compete, just being able to practice skills. Like the skill set's all there, just lacking maybe that game action or whatever. So, but
talk a bit
so
more.
Far pretty-
Yeah, for sure. Obviously off to a good start. 2-0 so far this year. 7 goals for, only 1 goal against. Starting off against Battleford's 2-0 win, and then a 5-1 win, both coming on October 9th and October 10th. But talking about that, I think we've talked about it before, just about those players that, all the players having a year off of hockey because of COVID-19. You know, coming back into it. You know, what's has there been some pleasant surprises out of some players that have stepped up that you guys, you know, maybe haven't had a chance to look at much before this season that have really stepped up for you guys?
Well, I think for the most part, you've definitely seen growth from Caitlin Perlinger and Sadie Keller and Jersey Watane and Ella Winard and those girls. And then we got some rookies that have come in and they're played a year at AA midget and then now are stepping in. And I think we're pleasantly surprised with where we're at, considering what the girls have been through the last year and a half kind of thing. So, I think we're definitely heading in the right direction. And, come February, I think we'll see even more growth out of, majority or all the girls, you would think.
Yeah, no doubt. It's so nice to see it so early on in the season. Just can't imagine what it's going to be like you said, in those months like February. Talking about the offense, of course, you get to work with the forwards here on this team. Talk about, what you've liked from the offense so far in terms of what they've been able to do in the O zone, the forward check, the pass, and all that good stuff.
The one thing, strength I think of our team this year, and we're hungry, like we're hounds, like they hunt pucks down, and that's the one thing. And we're really good along the boards. We're a veteran team that when we cycle the puck and we move our feet and hunt down pucks, we're tough to handle in the offensive zone. And for the most part, we go to the net and we crash it and go those things because there's that hunger. And it's not just we've been getting contributions from obviously we have our top two lines that are kind of leading the way for us from a veteran standpoint, but even our what you call our bottom six maybe they've been contributing too, and that's the nice part about this team. We for the most part we've been able to roll lines and not have to shorten the bench and that kind of thing. So really happy so far with the 12 kids that we have up front.
Yeah, for sure. And last time you joined me, you felt that this is going to be a really deep team this year. And when you're able to roll four lines like you guys have been able to do so far in this season, definitely nice to see that coming true for you guys so far. Talking about the defensive play, obviously giving up one goal in 2 games, a nice start to the season in terms of those defensive stats. But talk about how this team has played defensively as a unit so far this season.
We have basically one raw rookie on the back end, so we're happy. We got 5 veteran kids, but some of those veteran kids have only played 5 games in the league. So, but from a skill standpoint, they're there now. It's just kind of learning the finer aspects of the game and and the speed of the game. We were in Calgary this weekend for a tournament, and every game I think our D just improved at every time. Whether it's D to D or reverses, and they're just starting to get the speed of the game that we're going to expect out of them, and it's been nice that the girls on the back end have been moving the puck pretty good, getting it up the ice, and when you have a veteran core like that, it's nice. So.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about this past weekend in Calgary. The team getting out and having a chance to travel, play some tournament games. What was that experience like this weekend to have this team go out and face some other competition in another province?
It was really good. There was 7 strong teams, and then us there. We were fortunate enough that we got to play Notre Dame in the final there, but they were all basically 1 or 2 goal games, and
And it looks like we just lost Chris. His screen just went black, as you guys can see. Looks like he's trying to.
better.
Yeah, you're back, Chris. Missed you. I'll re-ask the question. Talking about the past weekend in Calgary, you said that the team made to the finals. How'd the team do in the finals? But like I was saying, what was that like to have that experience of getting this team out to play games in another province this weekend so early on in the season?
It was really good. It was fun. The girls got to enjoy the bus a little bit and bond as a team. Hotel for the first time and some while, and you get to see them interacting on the bus, and then the competition out there was second to none. We ended up losing to Notre Dame in the final 2-1, but it was we led basically all the way through until about the last 10 minutes and got in a bit of penalty trouble in the last game. But other than that, they were all 1 or 2 goal games, and we thought we seen huge strides in our kids from from competing and going head to head with those teams that were out west kind of thing. So it was a really good experience, and I think the kids, I think it's only going to make us better going forward.
Yeah, for sure. Especially in playing close games like this and being able to come out on top, even though you guys weren't able to come out on top in the finals against Notre Dame. Definitely nice to see the team, like you say, go out and perform like you guys did this past weekend. Talking about the both goalies on this team, Aurora Van Warmer and Carly Leonard. Both goalies have played in regular season games so far, both getting a win apiece. Talk about what the goaltending has been like. What's impressed you the most about it so far on this team?
Well, I think we've seen you never know what you're going to get. Like obviously, Aurora didn't really get to play a whole bunch last year, and she's a veteran goalie now, but with only a handful of games in the league due to the COVID thing or whatever. But so far, she's been rock solid. She got announced she's going to play for Team SAS this year when they go out to Portage. So that was a good thing for her personally, and she's been pretty darn good for the start. And then Carly kind of, has been, really good too. I mean, I guess you can call it a 1A and a 1B is what we have. It's been, I wouldn't be afraid to go to either one in a clutch game kind of thing. So we're really happy with our goaltending situation as it stands right now.
Yeah, great to hear. You guys also had strong goaltending last season on paper, and the results spoke for themselves. And just to have that again this season, definitely a big plus for you guys, because goaltending, you as a coach know, can take you a very long way, along with the talent of this roster. Talking about the special teams now, what have the special teams been looking like for this team so far?
Well, I think our penalty kill's been pretty darn good, for the most part. The Notre Dame obviously scored on a 5-on-3 against us there on the weekend, but, so far I think we've been pretty darn good. The power play still, I think, maybe a work in progress. And I think that's where you're maybe seeing the effects of COVID a little bit there. And it's still early. We haven't really had a chance to dig our, put a whole bunch of time into it yet. We've been just trying to figure out line combinations and, work ethic and good habits more than more than special teams. But, penalty kill is more hard work, blocking shots, whereas the power play, you got to kind of work on a little more. And I think it'll come. I think we have the kids that will be able to, hopefully change games for us and when we get it down further in the schedule.
Let's talk about the home opener coming up tomorrow night against the Regina Rebels. First time at home this regular season for you guys. Of course, like I've said throughout this episode, you guys can catch tomorrow's game on ASTV Productions anywhere you watch our broadcasts. But going up against the Regina Rebels, the battle of two undefeated teams early on in this season. Regina so far 4-0 on the year, 18 goals for, 6 goals against. So going up against a team like this, definitely nice to have an early season test like this so early on for you guys, I'm assuming.
Well, this will definitely tell us where we're at. They're always perennial contenders, so we're going to have to make sure that we continue to play like we did on the weekend and take care of our own end and hopefully score some goals and see where we're at. I know the kids are excited, for the home opener and to get to play in front of their own fans. So hopefully. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
No
so
worries.
Hopefully that works out, that we can come on the right side and continue to, grow. But Regina will definitely give you a test. They're probably one of the top teams in Western Canada, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, the kid's excited to play at home for the first time this season. How nice is it going to be to, finally have that home opener back here again in this 2021-2022 season? We are having some sound problems. Bear with us, folks. We'll try to get these figured out here. Cannot hear you. Nope. Always unfortunate when this happens live. Still can't hear you, Chris. I'll get you to rejoin the link. We'll get you back in here in just a moment. So yeah, right now we'll see if we can get Chris back in, but just gonna get you guys the date of when this game goes down. Let's see here. I forget it off the top of my head, of course. I believe Sean Mullen and Jared Down will be having the call of tomorrow's game. Two great announcers right there. Should be a lot of fun for you guys to listen to that. But let's see. Swift Current tomorrow. Their game will be going at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, so you guys can catch that on the network. And yeah, going to be a great home opener game for them. Going to be a lot of excitement. Two undefeated teams going at it. And we got Chris back in here now. Chris, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sounds good. We'll make this short then. Try to get through this and see if we won't have any more technical difficulties. But just talking about the home opener, it's back finally. The first home game of the season. Always a lot of excitement, like you said. The kids are excited, but how nice is it going to be to have this home opener back here again here in 2021, 2022?
I think the whole community, the whole hockey community is excited, whether you're in the Western League or Junior A leagues or AAA leagues. I think everybody's excited to be able to watch their kids play, and the kids are excited to have fans in the stands. And I think it's going to be a great opportunity for all these kids that have missed out for the past year and a half. So I think it should be hopefully a great start to the year.
What's been have you guys had any practices this week yet, or are you guys going in just coming off of playing those games in Calgary heading into this one?
The girls last night just did a little fun workout as a team kind of thing, and then today they'll have practice, or we'll have practice this afternoon here, and kind of run through a few things and then kind of get ready for tomorrow. So
yeah, what are going to be some of those things that you guys are looking to focus on the most in this practice coming up?
Oh, we'll probably go through the power play and the penalty kill and some neutral zone, stuff, that kind of thing, and probably a little bit of forecheck. It probably won't be a hard practice. It'll be more of a mental one, and go from there. Nice.
Well, you guys not only have one home game this week, but on the weekend, two home games, a 2-game weekend series against the Prince Albert Northern Bears. They're currently 0-4, so they're going to be coming in hungry to get their first one of the season. What's going to be the preparation going into games like that against Prince Albert, knowing this team is going to be hungry to get that first one coming in?
Well, you're going to have to. One thing about PA is they always compete as hard as any team in the league. So you're going to have to match their intensity and go from there, I think, is the biggest thing. But, you can't really look past. We'll probably start worrying about them tomorrow or on Thursday when we're done with Regina, I guess. So, and then go from there. But, yeah, you're definitely going to have to match their intensity. That's that's what, every year they'll forecheck you as hard as any other team out there.
Yeah, well, for sure. Like you said, got to worry about tomorrow night's game first. Got to take care of business. And you guys' home opener, best of luck to the team coach, you and the coaching staff, and tomorrow's game and the upcoming games here on the weekend. Can't wait to talk to you in the future again soon, Chris. You take care.
Sounds good. Thanks, Graeme.
Chris Kirwan, assistant coach, not head coach, assistant coach. I almost said head coach, but yeah, assistant coach of the Swift Current Wildcats in the Saskatchewan Female U18 AAA Hockey League. And just going to check something, just going to check the schedule here in that league, just to see if Prince Albert is playing any games coming in to the weekend. Okay, so Prince Albert has a chance to get a win in the win column when they play Battlefords. Should be a interesting game to see if Prince Albert can get that first win of the season. That game will be a home game for them as well. And of course, Prince Albert will be taking on Swift Current this weekend. So they'll have a bit of a primer before coming into Swift Current and playing the Wildcats this weekend. So yeah, who knows if Prince Albert is going to be winless going into that game against Swift Current. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But just talking about games coming up here on the network this weekend on ASTV Productions. Going to pull up the schedule here. Just got to pull it up. It's in my email. Just going to look at it here. There's the schedule, and here we go. So it's coming up here on the network tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's 8 p.m. Saskatchewan time. You can catch the Swift Current Wildcats in their home opener against the Regina Rebels. Of course, Sean Mullen and Jared Down will have the call for tomorrow night's game. And then this weekend, we're going to be seeing some MFHL action on the network starting on Saturday at 5:15. The Pembina Valley Hawks going up against the Winnipeg Avros. Going to be a good early season battle between the two teams. Of course, the Swift Current Wildcats will be back in action on Saturday night at 7:45 to take on the Northern Bears from Prince Albert. And then the Wildcats will be back in action the next day on Sunday in the afternoon at 1:15 p.m. against the Prince Albert Northern Bears. And then, of course, the Pembina Valley Hawks playing this weekend for a second time on Saturday at 2:30 p.m. against the Interlake Lightning. That's the Pembina Valley Hawks and the Interlake Lightning at 2:30 p.m. here on ASTV Productions. Wherever you guys watch the broadcast, be sure to tune in and watch the games this weekend. Should be a lot of fun. And also a special thanks to everyone who tuned into all the games from Pilot-Mound Hockey-Academy last weekend, and special thanks to those who took the time out of their Saturday in between games just before the U17's third game of the weekend between the Edge, as we did do the CSSHL game of the month show. And I know I kept saying 2 hours on the broadcast because that's what it was supposed to be, but it was more like an hour and a half of just us doing interviews, breaking down some stuff, and some other great stuff to do with the Pilot-Mound Hockey-Academy. A lot of fun. So we're going to take our final commercial break here in this edition of Coffee with Graeme. Don't go away yet, though. I'll be back for some final words after the break here on Coffee with Graeme on ASTV Productions. Stick around, folks.
Welcome to Pilot-Mound Hockey-Academy, your world-class academic and hockey training facility created to maximize each student's athletic and academic potential. Blackjack Stewart Arena, home of the Buffalo, is inside the 46,000 square foot complex, as well as a curling rink and other facilities. The students have a unique combination of successful, well-rounded education at Pilot-Mound Collegiate Institute and the professional hockey training in an encouraging community. The years of experience of on-ice coaching propel our students to the next level, both mentally and physically, in a professional environment.
And welcome back to Coffee with Graeme on ASTV Productions, everybody. Of course, in today's episode, I was joined by three amazing guests, starting off today's episode in our newest segment here on Coffee with Graeme, Off the Wall with Cody Wall, color color commentator here on ASTV, joined me to break down the past weekend of games we saw here on the network from Pilot-Mound Hockey-Academy. Of course, like I said, they were taking on the Edge school teams this weekend, both their U17 teams and their U15 team for Pilot-Mound, taking on the Edge's U17 team and the U15 team as well. The U15's taking on the U15s, the U17's taking on the U17s. And yeah, that segment that you guys saw will be a weekly thing. So Cody will be coming on every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. to break down the past weekend of games that we saw. And maybe he won't be coming on at exactly 10 a.m. as the first guest every time. Of course, we do the intro before, so it's a bit after 10 a.m., but he won't always be the first guest, but he'll majority of the time be the first guest on these Tuesday editions of the show on Off the Wall with Cody Wall. Of course, as well, special thanks to Derek Tibbatts, head coach of the Yellowhead Chiefs in the MFHL, for taking the time out of his Tuesday morning and joining the show today. And a special thanks to Chris Kirwan, assistant coach of the Swift Current Wildcats in the Saskatchewan female U18 AAA Hockey League, for coming on most recently and talking about the Wildcat season so far and their home opener coming up tomorrow on ASTV Productions against the Regina Rebels, as well as talking about their two upcoming weekend games against the Prince Albert Northern Bears. I also want to thank you, the viewer, for taking the time out of your Tuesday morning and watching Coffee with Graeme today. We had a lot of viewers at a lot of points watching today's show, so that's just really awesome to see that. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. And also special thanks to our sponsors in today's episode in Evolve Green, AETi, TOVI Hockey, and the Pilot-Mound Hockey-Academy. Coffee with Graeme on Thursdays now will now be at 8 p.m. Central Daylight Time, changing that Thursday episode to an evening episode, just changing it up a bit and seeing if that time's a good time to do it. So we're gonna roll with that for a bit. Thursday, the next edition of Coffee with Graeme, coming out at 8 p.m. You guys can watch that episode on our Facebook at ASTV Productions or on our website at astvproductions.com. If we do go live for that episode, like in this episode, you can also catch it on Twitter as well at Amateur Sports TV. And Rise and Shine Manitoba, Manitoba's show will be airing tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time. You guys can catch that one on our Facebook, on our website, and on our Twitter. Harry Siemens will be joining the show on the Farm Report to give us the breakdown on what's been happening in agriculture here in Manitoba and in some other places in the world, as Harry also likes to talk about other places other than Manitoba when it comes to agriculture, as well as Lorena Mitchell, CEO and founder of Evolve Green, also host of Evolution Greenworks here on the network, will be giving us the weekly solar report. And we might have some other guests in that episode, not too sure yet, but I know one thing's for sure. In Graham's opinion, a segment that I do every week on Rise and Shine Manitoba will be coming out tomorrow. I'll be giving you guys my NHL top 10 goaltender rankings, as well as my top 10 players in the NHL in that edition of Graham's Opinion tomorrow. Going to be talking about some CFL news as well. Might be giving my power rankings and my predictions as well. Not too sure yet. And going to talk about some other stuff to do that's going on in the sports world as well, and might do something other than sports to give my opinion on in tomorrow's edition of Graham's Opinion on Rise and Shine Manitoba. That's coming up, of course, tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. here on the network. But until I see you next time, folks, I've been your host of Coffee with Graeme, Graeme Forsyth, signing off now. Until I see you all on Thursday night, have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. Stay safe out there, and enjoy the upcoming days in the week. Enjoy your Wednesday as well, folks. Until Thursday, I'll see you then, everybody. Peace out.